is loudandheavy.com. I'm Josh, and I'm here with John from Warbringer. What's going on, man?
Hey, not too much at the moment. We are waiting to get on stage here at Weirdofest 2 in Sacramento, California.
What made you decide to do Weirdofest?
They offered to have us play it. We said we would play it. We like playing shows. We like playing metal for the people. So it was an opportunity, and that's why we're here.
Right on. So tell me about where Warbringer is right now. I know you lost a couple of members of the band. What was it, 2 years ago now?
Yeah, we lost 3 of 5 from the last lineup, so it was rather devastating, and it took me about a year to put the band back together, and it was in doubt for a little if the band would continue at all, as our 4th record also was the end of our record contract, so it seemed like a clean end. But no, I felt we had unfinished business as a band, and I always felt like the music of our band was progressing still, and I felt like we'd be cutting it short, so me and myself and Adam Carroll, the other original member, are carrying it forward, and we found 3 really talented dudes who haven't been heard a lot yet, but they've been killing it so far. And honestly, we spent about damn near a year reforging the band, as it were, and I feel like we sound tighter now than we ever have, and we are writing music. We're about like 30-40% into writing a record right now.
What's going on with the label situation?
The label situation, basically we're going to be signed to a label soon. I'm not going to say or anything, but we're good, guys. Don't worry about us. We're good. And we still have good ties with Century Media as well, and we have since the last record came out. What happened is pretty much this, is that we had a 4-album deal, and on the release of our 4th album, half the band was saying they're going to quit. And so I was not able, with half a band or less, to re-sign a record deal. And so it put the band in this sort of strange limbo that lasted for 6 months to 6 months plus before I really started being able to pull things back together, start having rehearsals. We spent many months just jamming a really wide repertoire of old songs, and the first shows with the new lineup were in Asia. So the first show with the new lineup was at this festival called Hammer Sonic in Indonesia with about 30,000 people, which is perhaps, I think, the largest audience Warbringer's ever played to. So it was kind of crazy, and we passed with flying colors. I was really happy with the band's performance, and I have been since. We did the Asia tour, we did some shows in California, including a triumphant show back in LA at the Whiskey, and we did a South American tour, and now we are here. We got more shows in Mexico in October. We're doing a full U.S. tour next year, and we're going to have an album coming out next year.
Talk about Asia a little bit. How was Asia tour or playing that show? Because I mean, Asia's nuts for metal, right? And they love thrash over there.
It's awesome that there are metal fans all over the world of many styles, and thrash being one of the sweetest in my opinion. So we played in Indonesia at Hammer Sonic Fest, which was crazy and awesome, and we had legit pyrotechnics, and I almost burned my hair off. I almost did a full Hetfield on it. And then we went to Hong Kong, where we had played before and met some familiar faces, which is crazy to see familiar faces that fucking far from home, isn't it? And that was a great show, probably my most fun show of that trip. Then we went to Beijing, which was just odd altogether for us Western foreign devils to go to. And then to Taipei, which is actually quite an excellent city altogether, and I'd been to once before, and then home. So it was a nice little run. It was my 3rd time in Asia, and fuck, I've been to Asia 3 times. That's pretty cool. Check life things. All right.
Yeah, I've never been to Asia, so fuck it. But so talk about the new songs, new album. What's it all going to sound like? Is it going to sound like old school Warbringer, or what can we expect from it?
Okay.
Every album's a little bit different.
This one will be too. We're not interested in making the same album twice because the previous albums have been released. They are known. This record I feel is going to Empires, the last record, was sort of the most experimental and all over the place Warbringer record that had different songs in different directions. I feel like that the analysis we've done on that since, we sort of focus on like what are the parts of that work the best, and sort of taking the more like dark, creepy, the darkly melodic, creepy side of that record, sort of cutting out the more upbeat, lighthearted side of some of those songs, and just making a really grim, evil record. It's got probably more technical influence than before, and but also we just want the whole thing to be really dark and heavy. So it'll be interesting. Probably a mixture. If I had to describe the songs we have so far, probably somewhere between Waking into Nightmares and the last record in style.
Nice.
We play one of them tonight. We play the first one we wrote tonight. We play it in South America too.
So you're back in Northern California. We talked. I mean, you obviously like to drink beer. Any favorite beers up here? Because there's a lot of breweries up here. So
I'm not too much of a connoisseur, but I do like some just strong ass IPAs in general. That category is my favorite. But if you hand me a beer, I will drink that beer. I like beer.
why IPAs though? I mean, is it just because they don't take enough time to brew? They just kind of push it out the door and.
I'm a California dude. That seems to be the regional beer of choice these days, and I just really like it. I feel as if you take a swig of a strong-ass IPA and you can almost feel just rampant chest hair sprouting or something. It's not fucking around. It's a drink it's a fucking drink, you know? I like it.
I can respect that. I can respect that.
It's not some sissy-ass shit. It's fucking beer, you know? That's
sure.
what I like.
So tell me about the whole underground thrash scene that's going on in LA. Tell me about it. Tell me about everything that's going on, because right now, I mean, bands like Tormentor and things like that, they're going on down there. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of thrash bands coming out of SoCal right now. Why is that? I mean, especially SoCal.
There has been for as long as I can remember, and honestly, I've sort of been on semi-hiatus from the metal scene. I'm not as involved as I was because we haven't, for a long time, we weren't playing any shows, and now as we're in writing mode, we're a little more sporadic than I'm used to. We're playing like, 6 to 8 tours a year. So I'm a little more out of touch with it than I should be, perhaps. But I just know that since the dawn of as long as I've been playing metal, there's a shitload of dudes who play thrash metal in Southern California. There always has, and it seems as if there always will be, and that is awesome. And we're playing actually with Tormentor tomorrow in Santa Cruz. That band's been around for forever too. What an interesting thing about the new wave of thrash is often got when it came out and was more magazine headline visible, yeah. I'd say. It often got the panning side of it was, oh well, these are just young bands doing versions of 80s stuff. All the scene's had time to evolve now, and you see a greater diversity of ideas and sounds of thrash metal bands today.
Sure.
Because if you have a good knowledge of old school thrash metal, it's a really diverse genre. You have more melodic stuff. You have really death metal, savage leaning stuff. You have stuff that's really tight. You have stuff that's completely like rusty chainsaw sloppy. It's all over you have really technical stuff and really primitive stuff. So thrash is a really interesting genre, and in the new wave of thrash, one interesting benefit of this is we can kind of look back and see all the things that this genre was and all the stuff that came before it and out of it, and sort of everyone can sort of craft their personal ultimate form, you know?
Do you think that the Swedish metal scene had anything to do with what happened in thrash in America and the changes that have happened? Because especially bands like At the Gates, In Flames, I mean, they took American thrash metal and kind of made it their own in their way because they added melodic death metal to it. And that Eastern European melodic death metal.
The Swedish death metal is a lot less blast and a lot more daka daka anyway, you know. So it makes perfect sense, really. And that style, the melodic death style, was really influential in American metalcore of all things, you know. I'd say like we have a couple songs that when we were writing them, would call like the Swedish sounding song or something.
Yeah.
Like Future Age is Gone from Worlds Torn Asunder.
Yeah.
A couple of them. So yeah, I'd say it's influential in its way.
What do you think about the new fans that are kind of coming up?
I mean, myself, dude, I found that shit on the internet as a in the early 2000s. I'm 28 now. I was born in '86. That was a good year for thrash. A lot of sweet albums came out. I wasn't exactly appreciating them yet. I feel like good music is timeless, and that's a style of music I was really drawn to it made me want to start a band.
What drew that to you though? Just
hearing metal and metal being awesome. That's how I could describe it. Basically,
let's drink some beer and fuck some shit up, right?
Before I even drank beer, dude, I was a suburban kid, man. When I started a band, I was like, started smoking weed and drinking a bunch and not even having done these things before, because suddenly going from, raised Christian world to metal world, met a lot of different kind of characters than I was used to, and through my travels in the band and throughout the world, I've met all kinds of people I never thought I'd meet. So it's sort of given me an interesting perspective on things.